Hello and welcome to RSL Awards on Tour 2022 and an audience with Stagecoach Harrogate. I'm really pleased to be joined by Celia Darby, who runs that franchise. My name is Dan Francis. I'm Head of Sales and Partnerships for the UK and Republic of Ireland. And before we have an audience with Celia, I just wanted to, for those of you that are not 100% familiar, take you through RSL Awards and what we do. So there are 5 different things that we do. Rock School are our graded exams. VQs are our alternatives to GCSEs and A-levels that sit within basically the secondary schools and colleges sector. We have our CQs, which are graded exams in podcasting and vlogging, which run from Premier through to grade 8. And we also do RSL Classical in piano and violin, and these are instrumental grades from debut to grade 8. However, we're here to talk about PAA, which are our Performing Arts Awards, which many of you, if you are from Stagecoach, will be familiar with the musical theatre exams, and may well have already received an audience and had an audience with Kate Poole, who was talking through those. We were formed in 1991. And our idea behind all of these 5 brands, if you like, was to provide qualifications for contemporary musicians in a way that haven't necessarily existed previously. Our qualifications are across the creative and performing arts, and they're designed for curricular and extracurricular settings, and they're designed for people working in schools and outside schools. And of course, what we have done over the last few years is as having musical theatre, jazz dance, street dance grades. We've also added acting grades and screen acting grades, and we're here today to talk to Stagecoach Harrogate about how they have brought in, or how Celia has brought in, the acting grades within Stagecoach. A quick overview of our acting grades are that you can perform your own material, perform as an individual, in pairs, in threes. And essentially, at each grade, there's a slow, gradual increase of sing, and we assess you on your use of voice, your face, and your body. And so it's all about how you communicate as an actor in front of an audience, or indeed in front of a recording. And we're also looking at your depth of understanding. So as students become more and more sophisticated in their ability to act, we are obviously able to recognise that how much more sophisticated that comes in terms of the sorts of text they're using, in terms of how they are interacting with the people and in the space, and of course how much they understand what they've been communicating, and how that comes across in the final assessment. There are no unseen tests, and there's no need for anybody to pay any registration fees. It's simply a case of signing up to do the exam at a point when you're ready. But without further ado, let me introduce Celia, who, if you wouldn't mind, Celia, could you just explain who Stagecoach Harrogate are, and what you offer to the young people of Harrogate? Why do you exist?
I've existed for 25 years. Okay, running Stagecoach Harrogate and performing arts school. So we offer singing, dance and drama. And we also like to offer things outside the box, so give other opportunities to our students. So, for instance, we performed at many venues, for instance, Birmingham Symphony Hall, Birmingham Arena, Her Majesty's Theatre, the Shaftesbury Theatre, Leeds Playhouse, Harrogate Theatre. Just recently, we performed at the Royal Hall in Harrogate with the youngest team I've ever had performing in the choir festival. They were age 6 to 10. So we like to give them all sorts of opportunities. Not only that, but quite early on, we started doing musical theatre exams, but with Trinity. And the problem with Trinity was that you were examined as a group. So you might get some young people who just joined Stagecoach in that group, but you might have some people who've been there several years and who were very experienced and were giving amazing, confident performances. And I had one incident when I ran my Bradford school, when I had some girls who were absolutely superb and should have got distinctions, but because there were some people who'd only just joined the group, the whole group in the end was demoted, demoted, but they got a merit. But the girls who wanted distinctions, of course, were a bit fed up. So I really, really like your musical theatre exams because each person is examined individually. We always everybody joins in, so everybody works on the theme, the particular theme for that term, for the exam, and everybody joins in, even if if they're not wearing the number, then they're not examined. So that's how it works.
And in obviously we launched our acting exams in 2021. You were very quick to start working with that syllabus. So what made you decide to sort of introduce those as well as the musical theatre grades?
Well, one of your few examiners who have been trained for the acting exam is one of my drama teachers. So Anne Percival is my drama teacher in my morning school, and so she was very keen for us to trial this. And I do believe that Harrogate Stagecoach were the first stage school to actually do the exam face-to-face.
I was going to ask you that actually, Celia. So you went for the face-to-face exam option rather than
absolutely, yeah. And throughout COVID, I haven't delved into Zooming classes. For me, being a performer, speaking on a screen is not what we're about. So it had to be face-to-face, I'm afraid. It had to be face-to-face to have the proper experience.
Yeah, and I would not apologise for that either, Celia. I mean, obviously, we were very keen to make sure we had all the options and worked really hard.
Yes, and I know you have to keep going, and lots of people did. It was amazing. But anyway, we did the face-to-face, and I have to say, it was a very good experience. Do you want me to talk about that now?
Yeah, well, I was going to ask really, because we did work hard to make sure we could resume face-to-face, exams as quickly as we could. But could you give some insight into what the students had to do as part of the exam day?
Okay, so they had 2 monologues to learn. Okay, and of course you do have the opportunity, as you said, to do a solo performance or a duologue, or to work in 3s. But in the end, we decided just to do solo performance, because so often you get kids off, for one reason or another, and then you haven't got your partner. And then it's tricky. How do you start working? How do you continue working? Okay, well, you partner with somebody else. Yes, but they're not doing my poems. Okay, oh, all right. So in the end, it becomes very tricky. So we decided you do a solo performance, okay? So we didn't just learn. We spent a lot of time showing the children all sorts of different monologues, and they chose their own in the end. So they listened to other people doing them, and so they heard what sort of things were on offer. They came and had a look. They took stuff away with them, and then by week 3, they had to finalize what they were going to do, what they'd chosen. Okay, and not only did they just learn it, but the drama teachers worked on fun games using the text. A simple one, you say your poem with the voice of a sheep or something else, different ways of expressing, and all sorts of games around that as well. So it wasn't just, boring, you learn your poem and then you say it. It wasn't that at all. It was a very fun term. And just to tell everybody about what the sort of parts of the exam are. So you have to obviously perform from memory and demonstrate an understanding of the content and meaning, which was worked on in class. So they had to go away and sort of either in the higher grades, look at other stuff that the person had written, get a sort of a feeling of that person, okay, and then use vocal skills in response to the material presented, obviously, and use face and body in response to the material presented, and demonstrate an understanding of the material, because there were questions at the end, a very good little viva voce, but not frightening, because the children had actually chosen which questions they wanted to answer, and therefore they could work on them. So that was really good. And it meant that, you know, there were no surprises. What I also like about this exam is the critiques that now you are offering at Rock School. So when I did the musical theatre exams the last time with you, I was not happy with the critiques. And I wrote a very long, I don't know whether you've seen it, a very long letter to you. And I'm very glad that everything I said has been taken up. And I just want to give you an idea of what I mean. You have to encourage children. Children are very brave to even, when you're 6 or 7 particularly, you're very brave to embark on this. Okay, so you have to be brave. So you don't want to be shot down in flames. You want to be, and obviously I don't believe in just sort of saying, oh, you were lovely, you know, nothing like that. It has to be serious, but it has to be encouraging and constructive. And just to give you an example, this person was given, you have an excellent understanding and awareness in response to your questions. They went, there was lots of other stuff said about this person, but then continue to focus on the movement and gesture in both of your pieces. That's fine. So then helping them to improve the next time. But then the last one is, thank you for taking a PAA acting exam. And in summary, a proficient and assured performance today. Well done. Excellent. And another one said, in summary, this was a high standard of performance today. Well done. And also each time, thank you for taking the PAA acting exam. I mean, I think that's brilliant. And I have to tell you, because I'm a singing teacher myself, the ABRSM, I don't want to knock them, but there you go, here I am knocking them. They've stopped doing that little last sentence. And I think it's a big mistake. A big mistake. All you need to do is, you know, I enjoyed your performance today. Well done. You know, just some little bit of encouragement like that. I mean, that's what we need. That's what we need.
Well, good. And obviously, you know, as we prepared for this an audience with, you know, I sort of put a few questions through, and I didn't ask for any kind of feedback from other awarding bodies, but it's always nice to hear these things, and it's really, really great to hear that that what we're doing and how we're changing things is
no,
positive.
I think, and we'll be doing the musical theatre exam again.
Yeah.
This coming Christmas. So we did the
Lovely.
acting exam in December, and we're looking forward to doing the musical theatre exam in December coming.
And do you think that's quite a sensible approach to sort of to focus on one term on one type of grade and another term on another, or would you ever recommend a centre sort of try to do both in one term? What?
Oh no, you never do both in one term. No,
yeah.
And in fact, for the musical theatre exam next term, we're workshopping it this term.
Yeah.
So we're sort of working through different ideas. The morning school are doing it completely different. They're looking at lots of different styles of dance in musical theatre. They're looking at lots of different songs from all sorts of musicals, and likewise in the drama. In the afternoon school, they've done it differently. They've decided that they want to do the Addams Family, which is fine. So they're workshopping that now and sort of having fun with sort of trying out all the different characters and learning all about the background of the piece as well. So, you know, and then because when you get to the term, when you're doing it, it goes so fast. And, you know, we want to get it up to a really very high standard. I mean, all my marks are either merit or distinction, and I wouldn't be looking for anything less.
Excellent. Well, well done. And actually, I was going to say that there are various hints and tips, but obviously, yes, having a term where you're kind of preparing and gearing up for things, and then a term when you sort of do the exam, sounds to me like it's quite a sort of a sustained, meaningful approach where they're kind of learning things. I mean, do you have any any particular hints or tips for centres that are thinking of introducing acting grades?
Yes. Be careful not to be too ambitious for your children. Okay. Make sure that you choose a grade that you feel they're going to be confident in, and not just to choose a high grade where they might just scrape through. There's absolutely, I don't think there's any point in that at all, because that doesn't give you confidence. That doesn't build your confidence. Okay, you want to be able to get a merit or a distinction, in my opinion. To make sure that you are that the children are absolutely prepared with their questions. Don't leave that to the last minute and say, oh, by the way, you've got to choose 2 questions. Quick, what are you going to do? You're going to talk about your costume. You're going to talk about, you know, sort of the atmosphere of the room. What are you going to talk about? Because then they'll go, I don't know. So right at the beginning, that has to be introduced so that they know exactly where they are, and they're so confident that when they go into that room, they know what's going to happen.
So having a bit of a sort of, I suppose, as a teacher, understanding what's going to be in the exam and sort of building that in from the beginning, but taking the right amount of time to choose the right grade and then to have them enjoy experimenting, exploring everything.
Yes.
And learning. And then they're ready to do the exam almost by accident.
Absolutely. And you know, my guys, they were just so excited. They couldn't wait to sort of get in there. Obviously, there are some kids who are really, really nervous, very, very nervous. I mean, I had one child who, she was just sort of deathly white and she was actually shaking. So it was my job. So I just take her on one side and we just sort of calmed her down. And I said, would you like to go through your poems with me? Would you just like to go? No. Okay, well, you know, I've just seen the examiner. He's absolutely lovely, and there's nothing to worry about. So let's just breathe. So we sort of so we try to have a really sort of calming little chat beforehand. And then 2 of my teachers, I had to have 2 rooms for the exam. So we make sure that they get outside the room in good time. Okay, so again, with one of the teachers, they just have a nice little sort of calming chat. And then as people come out, obviously the first one is not, but as the students come out, luckily they all came out and said, did you enjoy it? Yeah, it was great. You know, so there you are, you see, it's going to be okay. So it's all this sort of but it was fine. And one of the questions is, what do they need to bring with them on the exam day? Well, basically, both of my drama teachers had already prepared copies of all the material, so that the examiner had everything there in a file, in the right order. And so they didn't have to worry about, you know, think, oh, I brought a copy or anything like that. They didn't have to worry about anything. The only hiccup we had was Emily, my senior girl who was taking her grade 8, had to bring identification. She forgot to bring her passport. Okay, so then we had to, I think, send a copy of it after, which we got over. But and also, some of them did use a prop, so obviously they have to bring their prop with them. But otherwise, there's nothing, and that's the thing. Don't let there be anything like that on the day, because they're nervous enough. So if they have to, you know, if you're sort of saying, don't forget to, you know, no, it's just, you know.
So trying to keep everything as easy as possible, and anything you as a centre can do to kind of put things in place so they don't have to worry about that, it can be quite beneficial. And obviously, you being there on the day clearly was very helpful, because it was a familiar face, it was a familiar venue, and those sorts of things that all helped.
Well, I'm always there. I'm always there. I'm always there, and I want to be there. But no. I mean, I was thrilled how it went. I think it really went very well. And as I say, everybody got merit or distinction, so I couldn't have asked for better than that. and including Emily, who with her grade 8. So for grade 8, I mean, she's 19. She's just got into the Royal Welsh College of Music and Drama. So she stayed with us right to the bitter end. She's only just leaving at the end of this term. But she had to do 3 monologues, okay? And she had to do a lot of work into background and all that kind of thing. So it was sort of like an A level almost, you know. But I mean, it was a serious exam. And she did very well, so we're pleased.
Yeah, good. I mean, obviously, with grade 6 to 8 carrying UCAS points, as all grade 6 to 8 exams do, there is a level of rigour that's in there, and it's great that you know, they're able to kind of rise to that challenge, and then, as you said, can go off to places like the Royal Welsh College with this qualification under their belt, which is nice benchmark and a stamp of what they
even in the lower grades, you know, everybody's, you know, building up their little CV now. So I mean, it all goes on your CV.
Is that one of the key values of doing the exams, do you think, or are there other things as well?
No, I think I find that a lot of children do like doing exams. They like getting the certificate at the end. It's a form of recognition. In Stagecoach, we have medals, and it's not even for doing anything. It's for, after you've been with us 3 years, you get your bronze medal, then your silver medal, then your gold medal, then you get your award. And we have these lovely awards that they collect. And it took me a while to realize actually how important these were for the children and how they look forward to receiving them. And this is just for attendance, how many years you've been with us in Stagecoach. And this girl who I'm telling you about has been with me 14 years.
Yeah. And actually to recognise that, to recognise the kind of the dedication, the loyalty, the organisation, it's quite important.
Yeah. But they love it, you know, and you know, lots of people, you know, frame their certificates and put them up on the wall, and they're their badge of honour.
And so, just as we come to the end of this this lovely audience with Celia, thank you very much. What's next for Stagecoach Harrogate? As if you're not doing enough already.
well, we are doing a musical theatre exam at Christmas. That will be the next thing, and then I think probably there'll be a big concert next year. We have been invited for, over the years, to do concerts for the Rotary Club of Harrogate, and so they like us to do a fundraising concert for them. So I think there'll probably be one of those in the mix next year, and then who knows, maybe some more of your exams. I believe you're bringing in a public speaking exam.
Well, we don't hang around. There's all sorts of things that we do, and certainly we are. Yes, we're expanding the portfolio, and I think that's one area that we're doing. So we're always very keen for people to obviously get engaged with these nice and early, test them out for us, and prepare students, and then of course share their best practice with other organisations as well. So it's great that you've been here with us today, Celia. Just to add, if anybody watching this wants further information, they can email us business@rslawards.com and international@rslawards.com for our international colleagues. You can also email us and we'll be able to give you access to our introductory webinar that takes you through kind of all the aspects of the acting grades from sort of start to finish, really. And that was presented by Jackie Kirk, who was the person that essentially led writing of the syllabus. And yes, and I'm quite sure Celia is on hand to talk to other people should they want sort of more information.
Absolutely, and also my drama teacher, who is one of your examiners, and she's very happy to talk to anybody and to help you through it, even, you know, to show you the ropes if you like. Yeah.
Fantastic. Well, thank you very much, Celia, and thank you for everything you're doing in Harrogate. For the children and young people, and of course, you know, representing RSL as well. So fabulous. And please wish your students the very best of luck as they start preparing for their exams at Christmas.
We will, and thank you for having me.
Thank you very much indeed. Cheers. Bye.
Bye. Bye.